Hey there, welcome back. Today we're diving into something that directly impacts more than 72 million Americans right now and could soon affect your wallet too. I'm talking about Social Security. There are three major changes coming: a potential payment bump, a brand new bonus tax deduction, and the system is finally going completely paperless. On top of that, there's a looming problem that nobody in Washington seems ready to fix. So stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'll break it all down, what it means for you, your family, and even your retirement plans. But before we jump in, let me ask you something. Have you or someone you know ever had a frustrating experience with Social Security? Maybe you were put on hold for hours, or you're worried about whether your benefits will last. Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this kind of calm, real talk helps you stay informed, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future updates. All right, let's get into it. Every year, Social Security checks get adjusted to keep up with inflation. It's called the Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. Think of it as a built-in raise to make sure your benefits don't lose value as everyday prices climb. Now here's the big news. The Senior Citizens League just predicted a 2.6% COLA increase for 2025. That's slightly higher than their earlier forecast of 2.5%, and it marks the fifth straight month of upward revisions. Translation: inflation is still biting, but your Social Security payments could rise to soften the blow. To put that into perspective, not life-changing, but definitely helpful. So how is the COLA calculated? The formula compares inflation using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW, across July, August, and September with the same months from the previous year. The difference becomes the official COLA, usually announced in October. But while this is good news, groups like the Senior Citizens League argue it's not enough. Many seniors say the CPIW doesn't reflect their true cost of living, especially when healthcare, housing, and prescription drug costs keep rising faster than general inflation. So let me ask you, do you think a 2.6% raise is enough? Or should Congress use a different formula that better represents seniors' expenses? Share your thoughts below. Now here's where things get really interesting. Thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act signed into law by former President Donald Trump, seniors could see major new tax savings in 2025. Here's how it works. If you're 65 or older, file as single, and earn less than $75,000, you'll get a $6,000 bonus deduction on your taxes. If you're married filing jointly, and your combined income is under $150,000, you'll qualify for a $12,000 deduction. Even if you earn above those thresholds, you may still get a reduced deduction until it phases out completely. According to the Social Security Administration, this means around 90% of recipients will no longer pay any federal income tax on their benefits. That's a game changer. Imagine not having to set aside part of your check each month just to send it back to the IRS. Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano praised the law, saying it protects seniors' retirement and reduces the tax burden they've carried for decades. But not everyone's satisfied. The Senior Citizens League calls it a good first step, but insists that it doesn't go far enough. Why? Because about 7.3 million seniors are still living on less than $1,000 a month, below the federal poverty line. Their argument, while tax relief helps many middle-class retirees, the poorest seniors, the ones struggling to put food on the table, need direct support. They've pushed for bigger reforms, like using a different inflation index for COLAs and offering one-time catch-up payments to make up for years when COLAs lagged behind reality. So here's a question for you. Should lawmakers focus more on middle-class tax relief, or should they prioritize direct cash support for the lowest-income seniors? The third major change kicks in on September 30, 2025. After that date, the Social Security Administration will stop mailing paper checks altogether. From now on, payments will be sent electronically, either through direct deposit into your bank account or onto a prepaid debit card called Direct Express. Why the change? The SSA says paper checks are 16 times more likely to be lost or stolen compared to electronic payments. Going digital not only reduces fraud, but also saves the government millions in mailing costs each year. For most people, this will be an improvement, faster, safer, and more reliable. But what about seniors who don't have bank accounts or who live in rural areas with limited digital access? The SSA says a small number of beneficiaries will be eligible for waivers to keep receiving paper checks, but it will be the exception, not the rule. So if you or someone you know still relies on paper checks, it's time to prepare for the switch. Otherwise, you could risk delays in getting your benefits. And since people always ask, when will my check arrive? Here's the schedule. If your birthday is between the 1st and 10th, your payment comes on the 2nd Wednesday of the month. If you were born between the 11th and 20th, your payment is on the 3rd Wednesday. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, you'll get paid on the 4th Wednesday. Knowing your schedule can help you plan bills, groceries, and everything else. Now, before you get too comfortable with the idea of higher payments and tax breaks, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. The federal trust funds that support Social Security are on track to run dry in just 7 to 8 years. According to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, unless Congress acts, retirees could face an automatic 23% cut to their benefits as early as 2033. Think about that for a second. A 23% cut means someone getting $1,800 a month would suddenly drop to around $1,385. That's a loss of over $5,000 a year. And it's not just retirees. Disabled workers, survivors, and future generations would all be affected. The good news? There's still time to fix it. Lawmakers could raise the payroll tax cap, adjust eligibility ages, or find new revenue streams. The bad news? Washington is deeply divided, and every year of inaction makes the problem harder to solve. The Social Security system is like a car we all depend on, but one that nobody wants to maintain. Everyone agrees it's vital, but few politicians want to take the heat for tough choices. So, what does all of this mean for you? If you're already collecting Social Security, expect a slight increase in your payments starting next year. If you're filing taxes in 2025, you may qualify for a bonus deduction that could save you thousands. And if you've been getting paper checks, it's time to switch to electronic payments before September 30th. But the bigger picture is this. Social Security isn't just about monthly checks. It's about stability, dignity, and keeping millions of Americans out of poverty. Despite all its problems, it remains one of the most successful anti-poverty programs in U.S. history, sending out more than $1 trillion in benefits each year. The changes coming in 2025 are important, but they're not the end of the story. The real question is whether Congress will step up to secure the program's future, or whether millions of retirees will face devastating cuts in less than a decade. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you think these changes are enough? Are you worried about the future of Social Security? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on, hit that like button, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more calm, clear breakdowns on money, retirement, and everything in between. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.